Hello, I'm back. All right. It is 2:00. Man, just a couple more hours, baby. Well, it will be a couple more hours after I get back from lunch. But all right, what's today's date again? October 20th, 2023, and I'm on my way to go pick up Armani. So I pulled up into the parking lot this morning, and I'm like, first of all, it's gonna be 8:00 in 1 minute, and I need to get my butt inside. I can't continue on this check-in as if my customer service lead isn't like parked right in front of me getting out of her car. That would have been bold. But anyway, so where I left off, because I'm like, okay, where did I leave off? And where I left off was, I wrote it on a little sticky note because, yeah, my mind be all over the place. So I wrote, not being discipled hindered me emotionally, mentally, and after a while, it hindered me spiritually. And, what did I say? I wrote, I came to Christ and shared how he healed me and delivered me. But then, what did I write? Sometime. Oh, okay. I came to Christ and shared how he healed me and delivered me. But then some things came up to the surface that I wasn't able to suppress any longer. And I guess I was suppressing it because I was trying to measure up, as I was saying, and I was trying to be this perfect Christian. And when I say perfect Christian, I mean who I thought that I needed to be in order to honor God, because I found myself comparing, and I didn't realize it then that I was comparing myself. I always felt like I was just comparing myself to myself, like myself to the old version of me. But I realized that I was being, well, in hindsight, I realized that I had been influenced by others, which then brought up some insecurities that had been deeply rooted since I was a little girl. And so all of that, plus many more things, I suppressed because I was trying to be so, focused on being on this right path. And Jesus healed me, he delivered me, and I want to let the world know, the world, like those around me. And then the things that I could no longer suppress, because it had gotten to the point where I felt like I had to disconnect myself from social media, because I felt like a hypocrite. I'm like, how am I going to post and share certain things that I believe to be true for others, but I don't believe it for myself? So I felt like it was necessary for me to disconnect from social media, deactivate my Instagram and Facebook for some time. I didn't know how long I was going to be without, without getting back on. And plus there were other things that were going on. Like, I believe between 2018 and 2019 were like the most challenging years for me in the faith. And I found myself more often than not feeling like I was abandoned by God. I felt like he left me to figure things out on my own, which was hard because obviously that wasn't true, but that's what I felt and that's what I believed, which made it that much more difficult for me to turn to him, because instead I was turning to other people. I found myself just church hopping, as I called it, because I had never been discipled, and I was seeking that. And I was always told, like, you're this, you're that, let's like, others saw in me what I couldn't see in myself. And it was, yes, that was awesome, but I wasn't concerned about that. I was more concerned about making sure that in the areas where I felt needed healing and healing, and just there was so much that I was going through that I felt like, man, I don't want to be of service to others while being broken as I was feeling and as lost as I was feeling, even after coming to Jesus, right? Because yes, he healed me and delivered me from one area of what I was going through, but then there was other things that came up to the surface as I was continuing on this relationship with the Lord that I didn't want to face. I suppressed it, or I just put it on the back burner because I felt like I don't want others to see that I'm going through what I'm going through and have them believe that I'm just losing faith, or that I'm not, that Jesus isn't who he is. You know, there was just so much happening. And in that time of just saying, okay, I'm done with social media. I see how this is affecting me. And it wasn't actually, social media itself, but just how I allowed it to consume me and affect me mentally and emotionally and even spiritually. And in doing that, I then it was hard. It was hard. There was a lot that I started to realize that I had. There were certain beliefs that I had that weren't solid, in a sense that, like, I was believing in who others said God was. Not to say that that wasn't who God was to them, but for me it was just like, well, I want to get to know God for myself. And I felt like during that time, it was a desire of wanting to rediscover and redefine my relationship with God, myself, and others, but felt like it wasn't, like, what if it wasn't accepted? Like, I didn't see other people doing it. So what if my desire of wanting to know God for myself in this way, maybe this is not what God wants me to do? And this was just a battle, man, a battle. I have struggled with mental health for a while, for a very long time. I'm still in therapy, and I've definitely come far, but I have my days, and I choose to share a lot of, not everything, but I choose to share certain parts of my journey, because I feel like if anyone can resonate and feel less alone, then I'm doing what I believe God wants me to do. And I truly believe that God meets us exactly where we are every time. And as long as we are allowing him into our hearts, into those areas where maybe we've been hesitant in doing so for so long, that if we just allow ourselves and would allow the heart of God to reach us where we are, amazing things happen. And so, yeah, I'm almost at I'm here. Herman's about to get in the car, but anyway, all right, toodles.